Hey guys, Brent Hull Build Show, Thistle Hill update. Come check it out. Awesome stuff going on. Come join me. Thistle Hill, you know, we're a third of the way through the restoration. You'll see some things. We no longer have a roof, right? We've taken the roof off. I don't know if you remember the past videos, but we found out that the roof was not an original roof. There was a big hailstorm here in Fort Worth in 1995. In May, there was Mayfest was going on, and I was in the trailer with my wife, who was pregnant with our son. Hail came down the size of grapefruits, and we were in a job trailer, and it just sounded like there was 20 guys on the roof with bats. It was just an unbelievable experience. All the windows in our car was totaled. It was crazy. Famous storm here in Texas, and this roof got damaged, right? They put a new roof on, and it wasn't the same roof. It was more heavy. I don't know if you remember us talking about that. And we're going back with the Ludowici roof, okay? So we've ordered the new Ludowici roof. If you don't know about Ludowici, you need to watch my other videos on it. It's an awesome company. We've got a new roof coming, comes in March, April, and we'll be putting that roof back on. But we've done some repairs up there, and now we're waiting for the new roof to come in. You'll also see, we'll go back and look at the windows in the back. We're doing historic window restoration. They're going back in the carriage house. I wanted to start out here because I wanted to show you the gates and how they did this. Okay, this is 1904, and look at the way they did this gates. And what you've got here are all the parts and pieces that we're restoring that went on top of this low wall. So we've got a stone wall here, and these little holes in here are those low gates. So there's a low iron gate that runs around the outside. It sticks up above this wall. It sweeps up, you'll see a sweep over there, to this. Now what happened is, this is the way they made this in 1904, which is really pretty cool. They have a concrete base, they got a piece of angle iron coming out of the ground, and then they've got these welded, okay, and this is not spot welded, this is like blacksmith put together, right? Forged this piece of steel and iron coming in here, locked it into here. You can see where they've cut it and put these pieces together. And these gates are really heavy. They're like 300 or 400 pounds. And then the drive gates are even heavier. What you have here, and if we look at this iron work and this handle, we're gonna get this fixed so you can actually make it work. But one, it's really awesome because this flat work would have been supported by the brick coming up through here, locked into this piece of angle iron, right? And so it's pretty cool to see how they built and put all this together. Today, a lot of times those things get put together with cheap steel, Chinese tube steel, and it's not made very well. These are riveted, bolted, put together, hand forged, blacksmith kind of stuff. And what's the difference? Well, one is the gauge and the size of the steel. The fact that we go from a 1x1 to a 1/2x1, back to a 1x1, the fact that these things are all welded and put together and then riveted together, these are actually bolted together. The fact that you've got all of these pieces, that little arrow would have had to have been hand forged. So when you get into the detail of this thing, you start realizing how awesome it is. Remember these old historic houses. Remember the Staub stair? We were looking at that balustrade going up. Same thing here, right? That to build like this again today costs more, but look how long this lasted. It's 125 years. We're going to restore it. It's going to last another 125 years at least, right? So awesome stuff. That's how you build better today. Remember, we were on the scaffolding last time. If you haven't seen the update videos, they're all tagged on YouTube. We've got the scaffolding up. When we went up there, scaffolding was 80% done. It's now completely done. We're actually going to start repairing that wood soffit here in the next month so that all that goes back. We're starting painting, but realize that at this point we are 50% done with the masonry, maybe 60% done with the masonry. It doesn't look like we've done much, but I'm going to show you a couple spots where we're going to be cutting new stone. We're going to be digging in and kind of making this better again. Really the goal of this is to help this building last another 150, 250 years through the restoration that we're doing. So part of that masonry restoration, really it's pretty cool because you can see our solid masonry wall, right? All the walls on the outside of this thing are 18 inches thick, and you can see it here, and that this brick wall is laid up in what's called a width, okay? And that's a brick. And so there's one width, two widths, but you're seeing layers of brick in here. Now what they've done is they've cut this out. In case you don't remember, this stone was kind of chipped up. It was kind of messed up. It was broken. It had been repaired with concrete. We're actually ordered new stone. We're going to custom fabricate it to look exactly like this, to match this sweep along here, to have this little water drip edge piece, and then to put the brick back. So this will be completely restored. Part of that masonry restoration we're doing. Look at the windows here, right? We haven't restored these frames, but look at the carriage house. Boy, that thing's starting to sparkle now. And that wavy glass, we'll go check it out here in a second. That wavy glass really looks special, really looks awesome. I'm going to do a whole video on historic glass and kind of how to think about historic glass, but you're seeing parts and pieces of things we're restoring here and how it's coming back together, which is really a lot of fun. Let me show you this roof tile, and if you're looking for a good deal on roof tile, I got one. All the roof on this building, okay, was not original. It wasn't the original roof. This was a copy, okay? They used a cheaper roof, basically, when they restored the roof. And it looks beautiful. It is awesome. The green tile roof, which is so awesome, blended in about 3 or 4 colors, was too heavy, okay? And so for this historic house, for that time, this is about 50% heavier than Ludovici. Now it's about 50% heavier because it's not as dense as Ludovici tile. Ludovici tile has like 2% moisture content. This is about 6 or 8 as far as how much they contain. And so when they get wet, they can actually, because they're more open and porous, they can actually weigh more. So it was actually a structural problem on this roof, and that's one reason why we're going back to Ludovici. This is a fantastic 100-year roof that if you're looking for it, we're actually going to store it over there, but very inexpensively we'll sell this roof to you because we're just looking for a great home for it and we can't find one. So if you need a green tile glazed roof, that's awesome. Let me know. We talked last time, one of my videos, on restore versus replace. Look how freaking good these things look now that they've been restored. I mean, you're really looking at, you know, a window that, because of the quality of the wood, because of that putty glazing, because of the care and we've taken, they're going to last another 100 years or more. Clean the sill. If you compare this sill to that sill over there that we were just looking at, right? The paint's been scraped off. The quality of the wood underneath was fantastic. The quality of the brick mold is fantastic. But you can actually see a very clear profile on here that wasn't here before. Years and years of paint, years and years of neglect, putty glazing that was falling out. Were they even salvageable, right? So sometimes when you're looking at these historic windows, you're like, gosh, they look like in terrible shape. But the truth is that if the wood is in good shape, then most likely you can restore them and make them look just like this. Another great find that my project manager, Mark, found was an old picture from about 1915, we think, that shows that this configuration of this opening right here wasn't like this. And you can get a sense of it here, is that this beam comes across, and in the historic pictures, we've got a column there and a column here, okay? When we got here, there was only one column, which is the reason why this support is in here. There's only one column on this side. But look where this sits, right? If you've watched any of my videos and know anything about, you know, how I think about stuff, this beam and entablature detail. And notice the neck of this column matches the beam above. Little reminder here on all those design videos I do. But look at this on the ground, okay? So this gives you a hint that there was something else there. And if you look at the historic photo, there's 2 columns here, not one, okay? So we're going to go back with this 2-column design. We think it was taken out because they were moving cars get bigger, it was a little bit clunky, they started hitting the columns or the corners, and they widened this up. But actually there's 2 columns that go here, okay? 2 columns that go on the other side. They look a lot better, but here's your clue when we look at this and go, well, gosh, why is that no longer there? Oh, look, there's the outline of where that thing really originally was. So we're going to fix that and go back to it. Okay guys, last bit. Remember my design video. If you watched my Wednesday design videos on YouTube, I did one on the front door and I pointed out this typical form, okay? So this is a federal style door. got elliptical arch, you got leaded glass, okay? And in New England, they used to paint the leading, okay? You'll see that as a little bit of difference. But I just wanted to show you that looking at the past teaches us so much, right? We've got our column, it's got entasis, we've got an engaged pilaster against the wall, architrave, frieze, cornice, right? All the classical elements here. And when you look at it compared to the new stuff, you're like, something's missing, it's not quite right. And you go back to the past and look at it and go, oh, look what they did there, look what they did there. So there's a lot we can learn. And look, if you want to be a master builder, I really think you have to study the past. You have to be doing remodeling. And when you do remodeling of historic buildings especially, and someone says, I have to rebuild this or I have to repair that, all the work that goes into it to get it right so it lasts another 100 years takes a lot of time, takes more effort and is harder. And so, but it makes us better. And we learn more by doing this. And when we take this and infuse it into our new houses, we're better. Speaking of being a master builder, if you want to learn more about that, we have a podcast. It's called Passion for Craft. Richard McMurray with Finished Carpentry TV's on there. My son's on there. He's about to go to North Bennett Street. We're talking about building better. So if you want to build better and you want to understand that, you want to talk to guys who are trying to do that, come join us on the podcast. It's really a lot of fun. I'm Brent Hull. Thanks for watching.